Gonna be getting out there in the mini jet today. And hey, it's Josh here, and definitely gonna do some work on this, like going through the fuel system, doing some adjustment on the ride plate, gapping the spark plugs, checking the squish, and getting it out on the water and letting it rip. But nothing on this little boat ever goes easy, and it's absolutely no different. So you're gonna want to see what kind of experiences we have along the way. And later on, when the water gets super rough, Jacob gets out the Wave Blaster 2 with triple swap and just lets her rip in the big waves. So you're not going to want to miss that either. Here are the spark plugs out of the mini jet boat, and I'm going to go ahead and gap these spark plugs. And Joel reminded me about this because I had totally spaced this out and didn't even think about it. So just going to make sure that these are set. Going to set them at about 30 thou, and also going to check and see where they're at right now. This one's at about 43. That's the rear. Also 43. And closer to 45 there. So we're a bit too gapped out. Gonna go ahead and crank it down to 30, and it seems to have gotten a larger gap from what I just did. Got all the plugs set at 30 thou gap now, so we're gonna go ahead and put those back in the boat, and then I'm gonna work on sealing up the fuel tank. So on the fuel fill on the rear here, should drop that down in there, but whatever. It had this rubber gasket and the 3 bolts, and it was, you can see it was definitely leaking out, so it wouldn't pressurize there, and have the same thing going on with this setup. So gonna run a bead of right stuff along here, and hopefully that will seal it up and take care of our issues. Got this piece all glued in. Had to redo all the bolts because all the bolts in there were doing nothing, just looking pretty. So put some new self-tapping stainless screws in there. Don't want stuff falling in the tank, but there are filters in the tank, so you know, it sucks, but it is how it is. Now I'm going to do one last thing before we take it out today for a test, and that is I'm going to be cutting the ride plate off right there. Reason being, the nozzle, when I point all the way down, it just deflects off of here and comes up. So we're not getting the whole like adjustable trim effect because this piece of plate is in the way, and hopefully that works. And if we have to go back to putting that extension on there, I can just weld it back on, but I'm just gonna go ahead and chop that off. There we go, got it chopped off. Had to remove the cone section so that I could follow this line that wasn't on the bottom. So I had to be able to follow that. Now I've got the flap disc on here. Just got to clean this edge up a little bit, and then we'll be done with that. All right, a few more things before we go ahead and run the mini jet. I went into the e-box. I thought I was going to hardline these connectors, but then I realized if I do that, I can't swap out the igniter, and I kind of want to try the 900 igniter in at some point and see what it does. Just ignore this for now. I'll get to that in a minute. Up here, changed this to a toggle switch before I had to hold it, which was really annoying. You can see the fuel tank is all dry now. Got all the lines hooked up. I fired the engine up real quick to make sure it runs. Fired up easy, runs good. And now I have solder in my cylinder, and what I'm doing is I'm checking the squish on this engine. And I got this tip from Joel Arsenault. I saw it on one of his videos, and basically you take your solder, you want to make sure it gets all the way to the edge of the cylinder. That's why I have that bend, because you're checking it all the way at the end there. So that's all the way at the end, and I'm not gonna like fire, I don't want to fire the engine up, so I'll turn the coupler with my wrench. And basically you just have to turn it over until that squishes the solder. Did it do it? I might have done it already. There we go. It's been squashed or squished. Now I just got to grab a handy dandy caliper and measure that and see where we're at. I can go ahead and measure this right here. You can see our squish is 0.07. Now, let's see. I can switch over to millimeter and measure it in millimeter as well, because I'm kind of wondering if the spec's going to be in millimeter. At 1.86 millimeter. I measure it long ways, just to 1.86. Anyways, I just gotta look up the spec real quick. I'm pretty sure we're okay, but let me look that up real quick. So a quick rummage through the internet on my phone, and I was seeing that like a 0.06 to 0.07 is a safe amount of squish if you don't have like super great fuel. So I think we're okay. They were talking about 2 cylinders like an SXR 800, but maybe it's different on the 3-cylinder. I'm not sure, but I was right in there. I was at like 0.066, so right in between 0.06 and 0.07. And yeah, so that's good enough for me. The mini jet boat. I'm actually out here by myself today, which is kind of not exactly what I want, but it is the way that it is. And the water looks nice. I'm gonna test out all the things we did on the mini jet. First, I want to check and see if we're taking on water. There's a problem that we have been having. Is it filling up with water? Doesn't look like there's any coming in. So that's obviously what we want. Definitely didn't hurt all the things that we've done. Certainly kind of seems to like bog out after it's been going for a while, so it's hard to really say. Got some coils on the way for this thing, brand new ones, so we're gonna have brand new coils and wires and see if that helps us out at all. But pretty fun pretty fun the way it is. Not really much of a difference with the ride plate, I think. Well, I just adjusted the trim again, so let's see if it stays more nose down. Well, there you go. The same, but different. All right, so I got it running pretty good now, so we're going to head over to the track and see if we can't get a lap time on this 1100 swap in the mini aluminum jet boat. Well, it was going perfect until it died. Right on a corner too, eh? Oh, jeez! Ah, about 20 times deeper than I expected. Not much. Well, this will be interesting. Testing out the deep water boarding capabilities. That was genuinely almost impossible. Wonder if you have to just climb on from the back. Man, if it was truly deep though. All right. Well, that was it. It was like perfect, and then it just shut off. So.
Be a wire that came loose.
Are you sure it wasn't you just running into the grass?
I went in the grass because it stopped running. And when I hopped out, it was way deeper than I expected.
Oh my gosh, this is deep!
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah! No kidding!
What happened, man? I was flying. It was running perfect. I'm screaming down the track.
Get your forward!
And then it shut off.
Can't be in the guidebook!
Just one of those days, I tell you, man.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Looks like we have fuel lines. Either that or they're bone dry. Let's see if they start pumping up with fuel. And this fuel system is goofy on this thing, so.
Yeah.
Because of the straws.
Something. Maybe.
Yeah, it looks like it was needing to go to reserve, so I'll be able to drive it back, and then and then we'll just fill it up with gas, and it'll.
Okay.
And it's so stupid. It's got like 3/4 of a tank, and it has to be on reserve. Like,
Yeah, that's bull crap.
it might, yeah. Try not to yell. All right, I was jumping it out there. It wasn't running quite right. still. To get away from the course, I put it on to reserve, and then we got going. But seems like electrically it just stopped. So we're switching over to a different stator because that's basically the last thing that's untouched. I guess we haven't done the CDI, but we don't really think that that's what's wrong with it. But we might try that after this stator if that doesn't work.
Exactly.
So we're just doing some work trying to get there. Got a different stator in there. Obviously we have one sitting around. This one, something happened. That piece came off. There's a bunch of metal shavings in there, whatnot. Threw the different stator on there, and now it fires up and runs. It actually was not running. It lost spark. So only thing that's kind of screwing me over now is I have to repin these connectors to put this sealy dealy on there. Otherwise I could just throw a piece of tape over it and go and say screw it. Oh man, that sounds like kind of what I want to do. And then repin it at some other day. But I gotta go look and see what's going on with Jake, because it's freaking rowdy down there. Holy catfish, boys. Yep. Jacob's out there getting wild. Man, I don't even know if I could launch the boat right now. I'm not even going to attempt to launch in this. I mean, yeah, this is nuts. Oh yes, he doubled it. Unfortunately, we're like a million miles away with the camera. Oh, man. He's crazy. Now you guys can see how big the waves are. I mean, it's nothing for ocean guys, but for us out here, these are pretty big. Man, this video is really turning into something. I am not getting the boat out right now. It'd be one thing if it ran perfect, but it'd be so tough to launch. And it may run perfect now with that new stator, but holy cow. I just got sloshed. I mean, that's a heck of a thing. I really wish I had a follow ski right now. And I'm sorry my hand is shaking because I'm a little cold. I would have been out here in the water when he freaking doubled him. That was sweet. And that ski he's got is terrible for wave jumping. Man, the Widow Raider would be just a beast out here right now. He's running out of gas. Watch out! That was nuts! Alright, let's pull it up. Alright, here we are, the next day. I got some cool hair going on. Making it happen on the mini jet boat. Got all the wiring sorted out. Fixed up a couple other little knickknacks like the straws in the fuel tank are the correct length for this fuel tank now before they were way too short. Jay was gonna come out, run head cam for me so we can get a nice third person view on the mini jet. And we didn't know if we were gonna be able to make it happen today, but just powered through and made it happen. So hopefully it turns out.
All right, well, he's out there and it's really smooth, and I don't know if that thing's going really good, but he's ripping around pretty hard. So we're gonna follow him.
Well, anyways, guys, I was out there, it was running perfect, then Jacob got out there and then it started running bad. Turns out it was a fueling issue, so we brought it in. Didn't know, but we pulled the return line off and was trying to run it in at shore to see if there's any fuel coming through the return. And then it got rocks into the pump, so we had to remove the entire jet pump, get the rocks out. Just went through the carburetors, removed a whole bunch of just nasty from in there. It was all gummed up.
Yep.
So
It's all about the bull crap.
So now we're just like, maybe we can get another shot here before it's totally pitch black.
You know what? This camera, I can see the screen, and the footage doesn't look stupid right now, so...
Yeah, that camera sees better at night than people do.
Oh. Alright, either this thing's gonna work or it's not. And it is not looking good. JetSki Brothers reality kind of sucks type of stuff. Stupid boat. Stupid it's nighttime and we don't have enough daytime, and yeah.
Sometimes I swear this boat is just as bad as the XPDI. The only saving grace to this is it's much easier and simpler to work on, easier to get to everything. So when I do work on this, I don't really hate it quite as much. It's a much more simple design as well, so I can usually get to the bottom of what the issue is a lot faster. But obviously the next time we have this on the video, I'm gonna have to solve some more issues with it, and hopefully we can finally get it out there and run a strong 1100 lap time on the mini jet boat.